Good evening, guys, and happy first day of November. I just kind of wanted to get on here and talk about progress, I guess, would be the best way to put it. I know that this may not be a big thing to some, but to me, this is pretty good indicator of where I was and where I'm headed, because I know I've talked before about dealing with a lot of emotional dysregulation and anger issues and whatnot. And I had to do something in the last few days that to me have become a benchmark, I guess, to show where I have gotten to. But I ended up dropping my phone and I had to fix the screen. And in the process, I had to use a backup phone in order to have service so that people could get a hold of me, because that's important. But as I was doing this, trying to transfer phone lines and trying to transfer numbers from one device to the other, it became really, really irritating and frustrating and just so much going on, because I ended up having to talk to, just in one day, 9 people trying to get my number swapped from one phone to another, to which most of them couldn't figure out what I was saying, I guess, although I speak plainly and I'm a fairly good communicator in my opinion. But they just couldn't get it done. I ended up standing in the phone store for altogether, I believe it was something like 9 hours until they closed. And then I had to go back the next day. And nothing that I said or did, or anybody else said or did, would make this process easier. And throughout all of this, I was surrounded by people and I was having to deal with all of this stuff. And all I really wanted to do was scream at everybody and cry because I was so overly done. I felt like fried chicken. But I didn't. I didn't do that. And you know what? That may not be a big thing to some of the people, but that was a huge moment for me, because I'm a nice person in general, and I would never consider, speaking disrespectfully to anybody. But when you've been pushed and pushed and pushed beyond your limits to hold yourself back, that becomes a really difficult and trying situation. But I have been doing the work on myself for the last several years now. And I was able to, in those moments, in that time, to be able to utilize the tools that I've been putting into place for myself and learning for myself over the last several years so that I could react appropriately and not fly off the handle and not end up having an emotional breakdown or a mental breakdown because of situations that are outside of my control. And I'm not saying that I'm completely there yet, because I still have the feelings of wanting to do this and having to sit there and remind myself that that's not appropriate. But progress is progress. And that is a huge step, because emotional dysregulation is real. And you can't always control the situations that are happening around you or to you or about you. But how you choose to handle that will determine how people directly deal with you. Because obviously, if you fly off the handle about something that you don't need to be, or even if it's deserved, but you still maintain control of yourself, that's all you can do, because you can't control everything else around you. It just doesn't work. No matter how hard you try, some room for error still exists. And I just was really proud of myself. But by the time I had gotten home, I was ready to just let everything go and try to find my balance again, my center. Because even though I wasn't going off on people and I wasn't yelling and screaming and being a complete and total loony, I still had all of that stress and the feelings of anger and frustration and bitterness built up inside me. And so when I got home, I had to do self-care in order to keep myself balanced and to reground myself and let all of the stuff that had been happening go so that I could recenter myself. And I'm proud of myself. It's little things, it is, that you notice that prove to yourself, if no one else, that you are making progress. And so I'm making progress. I've seen it a lot in a lot of different ways in the last 6 months or so. And I am really proud of the progress that I've been making. It's still not easy, but as you make the strides, it becomes easier. And once you have the tools that you need to be able to react and respond appropriately to life and its situations, things become easier externally, which translates into things becoming easier internally. Anyway, that is what I had to say. And for any of you who understand and go through some of these issues, to any strides that you've made to work on yourself and fix your side of the problems, congratulations and good for you. I'm proud, because it's not easy, but it's worth it. And it'll continue being worth it the more and more you do. I hope that you have a fabulous day. If you find value in what I'm doing, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. That way you can find what I've posted and you'll get notified. And for now, I hope you have a lovely evening. Good night.